Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Monday. We have an 8-game slate today starting at 7 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get right into it. As always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button before we start. Subscribe if you haven't already. Took a day off from making these yesterday, but I'm back today for another full week of NBA, throwing some MLB videos in there as well. So starting off with the point guard options for tonight, we have Westbrook at $11,000. He's been racking up those triple doubles like we all know. I think he has up to 13, got up to 13 last month or maybe 14. Played 40 minutes against the Mavs in regulation, shot efficiently, missed a triple double by one assist, but he's been just doing so much for the team, keeping them alive in the postseason mix. So I got to recommend him. That game has the highest total of the slate. Then you have Curry is $200 cheaper. I'd rather go up to Westbrook. And then LeBron James is a little bit cheaper, but he left the game with an ankle injury last night, and I definitely don't expect him to play on a back-to-back. And I also don't think Davis might not play today. So if both of those guys are out, then we can definitely go to some value plays on the Lakers side because Dennis Schroeder missed yesterday's game with protocol reasons, and you definitely don't expect him to play today either. We do know that Donovan Mitchell is still out, and then we can look to maybe like Damian Lillard, who's been playing a lot better. He's $9,200. He's kind of looking like himself again, getting assists, getting you some rebounds, scoring the ball efficiently. That game has a high total as well, so definitely do not mind getting to Damian Lillard. If you wanted to save some money, we'll have to wait and see on Malcolm Brogdon news. If he is out, then you definitely can look to Karis LeVert. Sabonis would just look a little bit better. Sabonis had a triple-double in his return in the first half against the Thunder. They absolutely blew them out of the gates. And then Lonzo Ball's been playing great. He's 78, so his price tag is expensive, but for tournaments, I definitely think you can go to him, especially in this matchup against Golden State. Should be competitive, and Lonzo's just been really racking up all the peripherals, and he's been really good with the steals and blocks. So other guys that are affordable that we can look to are like 6K range here. Cole Anthony, fresh off of his buzzer beater, he's $6,900. The Magic are very limited. They have about 9 guys active. So you'll see Anthony play mid to high 30s in minutes. He sometimes isn't the most efficient scorer, but I definitely think you can play him today if you wanted to against Detroit. The Detroit team is also limited today, missing once again Plumlee, Grant, Corey Joseph, etc. are all out today. Other guys that look somewhat appealing are maybe like TJ McConnell if there is no Brogdon. And then in the 4K range here, you have Campazzo, who looks good just because he's playing 30-plus minutes as a starting point guard for a very solid Denver Nuggets team who tries to get everybody involved in the offense. He doesn't take a ton of shots, but he's been pretty efficient when he does shoot. He gets you assists, and he's just out there a lot. So especially if the Lakers are missing a couple of their guys, this game should be close. Maybe the Nuggets can even run away with it. Hopefully not, though. And then in the 3K range, you got some more value here. Probably the best value right now is going to be $3,000 flat for Alex Caruso because Schroeder's not going to be available, and then LeBron's like 99% chance he's not going to play today. And then Davis also might not play today on a back-to-back. So I got to like Alex Caruso's chances to hit value at only $3,000. Him and Kuzma look pretty good as just guys that will probably exceed value for the Lakers, but I really got to start my lineups with Alex Caruso at $3,000. At shooting guard, you can go up to a Bradley Beal if you wanted to. Zach LaVine is doubtful, so we can't really look to him. You can look to LeVert if there's no Brogdon. And then for some of the value plays at the position, the Utah Jazz are still playing with Al Conley and Mitchell. We haven't really seen Clarkson do anything so far. It's been a combination of blowouts, and then Bogdanovic has really just taken over as a number one option. So on this late, I might look to elsewhere instead of paying over 7K for Clarkson. Josh Jackson was absolutely garbage last game. If there's no Diallo, you could look to him as a bounce-back guy. If Diallo plays, then I don't want to play him because they seem like they want to give Diallo a little bit more minutes than Josh Jackson. And then for other guys that look appealing for value plays, you have Dwayne Bacon, $4,900. He's just going to have to be one of the more higher-scoring players on the Magic, just without all the guys, sidelines. So they basically have like 9 guys to play. Bacon's going to play over 30, 33, 35 minutes, and I definitely think you can play him if you wanted to go to a guy that is in the 4K range, or you can save a little bit of money and go to a Campazzo at 46, or even go to his teammate, Bacon's teammate Gary Harris, who is $4,300. He is going to also play good minutes. He only played 24, probably due to foul trouble. He had 4 fouls in those 24 minutes, but I would expect Gary Harris to kind of, still take a lot of shots and hopefully can rack up some defensive stats as well. So the Magic definitely going to have a couple of pieces from. I think my favorite is a power forward that we'll get to. And then that's the main guys to consider. If you needed some more value, you can maybe look to like Ben McLemore. He might start today. He's been pretty efficient, or pretty like volume scorer, volume shooter when he has given some opportunities for the Lakers. He had that 6 of 10 3-point shooting game. But if there's no LeBron, no Davis, no Dennis Schroeder, then McLemore would probably be a decent value play. But right now I'm going to go with Campazzo as just a guy that I like to get you some good value at $4,600. Small forward, we can look to MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., $8,400. You can go to Brandon Ingram, $8,200 if you wanted to. 6K range, kind of looking at Bogdanovic, even though he's kind of expensive, 69, but he's been playing great. I like him a little bit more than Ingles. And then for value, you have Sadiq Bey, who's going to play like high 30s, low 40s in minutes. He got up to 40 minutes last game. He was not efficient, but he got it done with 4 stocks, got you a rebound, some assists. He looks to be a good guy to get, especially if they're without Diallo as well. Josh Jackson as a contrarian pivot from Bey. If there is no Diallo, I think he looks fine. You have Kent Bazemore. Kelly Oubre is going to miss some time, so Bazemore is going to play good minutes for the team as a starting small forward. 52 against the Pelicans. This game also has one of the higher totals on the slate, so definitely can look to guys like Ken Bazemore, look to a couple of Golden State Warriors. Bacon looks fine at $4,900. Gary Harris, mentioned him at the shooting guard position. And then for value, maybe like a Patrick Williams if there is no Vooch, just because he'll get you some extra minutes and we'll just have to take a little bit more shots. Just another guy to mention. At power forward, top end guys, we have our Zion, Randall, Sabonis. I think all three look fine. They're kind of not at the best price tags. I would say I like Sabonis the most, given the matchup, if there is no Brogdon. And then you can look to Porter Jr. I don't think Davis will play today on a back-to-back, so not going to have him in my player pool right now unless we get some news. And then for value, it's Jaren Jackson at $6,000. His minutes still been kind of limited. They haven't been pushing him too much yet. He's also been in foul trouble in a lot of these games, so it's really tough. And he still hasn't corrected the foul issues. 4, 5, 5, 4, 5 fouls, and barely, and not even over 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So that is going to definitely be a risk. And I don't want to play him against the Knicks today. Some guys I do like a little bit are in the value range here. In the 4K range, you have Mo Wagner, who's $4,600. Just going to play a lot of minutes for the Magic, just because they don't have very many guys active. I think he'll make sense as a great guy to look to at your power forward spot. If there is no Vooch, Lauri Markkanen looks like a good value. He's $4,500. He's going to play mid to low 20s in minutes. And then Thaddeus Young would be the better value play. He's $6,100, but I don't know if they'll start him at center, which I guess they could, but he definitely doesn't have the size to match up to Embiid. But he would get you good minutes and good production at $6,100. Moving on to center, I think it's a spot where you can spend up. You got a couple of guys above $10,000. My favorite is going to be Jokic right now at $10,900. I think Embiid also looks fine if you wanted to go to him, but just like Jokic for $300 more, a guy that gets you a little bit of everything, triple-double upside, plays good minutes in close games, and just having to do a lot offensively without Jamal Murray. Even though he's matched up against like Drummond, Harrell, I still expect Jokic to be able to have success. Maybe if Vooch is out, then Embiid looks even better because they have no size to match up to Embiid. But right now, I like Jokic. Like Sabonis, $9,800. And then Vooch, if he does play, could be a contrarian option. He does play well against his former team. He's always had played well against the Sixers. So you could look to him. But right now, I'm not going to have him. And then for value here, it's Thaddeus Young, potentially. Center option here. Jakob Poeltl, only $5,600. He looks okay. And then you have Markkanen as a punt play, $4,500. And I think Adams is questionable. If he's out, then we definitely can go to Hernan Gomez. See if they moved his price tag at all. He's still very reasonable, $5,200. At the guard position, go ahead and put in another expensive guy, Russell Westbrook. Pay up for at least 2 studs today. I think with the value that we have, Westbrook, Jokic look like my favorite pay-ups right now. And then the last guy I'm going to go ahead and put in is Isaiah Stewart right now. I think $6,300. He still looks good matched up against 2 7-footers on the Magic side. He got into foul trouble basically all game. He had 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then he had to come out, and then he checked in the second quarter. Checked in maybe definitely at the start of the second quarter. Played a few minutes, and then picked up his third and had to sit the rest of the way. Just couldn't get into rhythm. Still ended up playing 27 minutes, but he wasn't in rhythm at the start of the game, and so kind of struggled the entire game. But in this one, expect him, as long as he's not in foul trouble, expect him to continue to play well like he has been, and definitely get you more than 2 rebounds. If definitely would not count on that happening again. So these are the 6 pieces I like right now. Definitely want to go a little bit stars and scrubs today with just Jokic and Westbrook looking great as pay-up options. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's jump over to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel here, point guard options, it's Russell Westbrook is $11,200. Can save $1,500 and go to Steph Curry. And they're only $200 separated on DraftKings, so I definitely prefer Westbrook on DK. But FanDuel, I probably prefer Curry given the matchup. So I like Curry definitely more than Trae Young's, $300 cheaper. Could look to Damian Lillard as a pivot from Curry at $8,900, and then we'll have to wait and see on Murray and Brogdon news. Still no Mike Conley's out. Lonzo's price tag is going up, but he's still a viable option, I would say, on this slate, especially against the Warriors here. I like him more than Ben Simmons, probably more than Ja Morant against the Knicks. And then in the value range, it's Cole Anthony, $6,300. He's just going to have to do a lot offensively for the team and play big minutes, so I definitely like Cole Anthony in that range. And then the value range here, it's basically Killian Hayes, $4,400, Frank Jackson, $4,200, and then Alex Caruso checking in at $3,700. Moving on to shooting guard, it is a position where there's only a couple of spend-ups. You have Bradley Beal, $9,100, and DeRozan. Definitely like Beal more than DeRozan against the Jazz. Probably go to LeVert if there is no Brogdon instead. And then Wiggins, is he questionable? Yep, so that might change a lot of things on the Warriors side. It will make Bazemore look a lot better. Jordan Poole would be viable. But really, it just help Curry and his offense. And then we have Clarkson, $6,500. Hasn't really got it going yet since they've been missing a couple of their better players. Got up to 33 minutes. Didn't really have anything going for him. I definitely like him on FanDuel a lot more than DraftKings, where he's like $7,300. Instead, you can maybe go to Josh Jackson or a Bacon, $5,100 and $5,200 for those guys. Brooks is only $5,000, and then it's the main guys to consider. Maybe Horton Tucker if they're without 3 of their starters. And that's kind of it for me. So right now, just going to go ahead and put in like a Dwayne Bacon, just because he's only 51. He's just going to play a lot of minutes. Moving on to small forward position where LeBron is the top end guy, but he probably won't play today. Porter looks fine. That's $8,200, but I might as well go down to like a Brennan Ingram against the Warriors, 74. Not that interested in Brissett at 73 now that Sabonis is back, or Barrett at 67. I like Bogdanovich. I like Ingles to get a couple of pieces from the Jazz side, but Sadiq Bey looks appealing. Kyle Kuzma looks good if there is no LeBron, Davis, and Schroeder. And then you could look to like a Kyle Anderson. Never will get that much ownership. So those are the top guys, and then KCP looks like an okay pivot, but he really doesn't have that much upside unless he makes a lot of his shots. And then for value, it's Patrick Williams, $3,800, and Danny Green at only $3,700. Right now, I will stick in the kind of mid-range value range and just put in Sadiq Bey at only $5,600. At power forward, position where you do have top-end guys to pay up for, but Sabonis, Zion, they both look great. Even Draymond looks appealing at $7,400. Could be one of those games where he just gets you like 20 assists. And then we have John Collins at only $6,500. He looks fine, but I probably like Isaiah Stewart a little bit more than John Collins at $6,300. And then we'll have to wait and see on the Bulls guys depending on Vucevic's status. And then Wagner is $4,900. He also looks like playable, but not as good as he does on DraftKings. And then Gordon is down to $4,300. I mean, probably worth a shot in tournaments. Just really, really cheap for Aaron Gordon. Right now, I will stick with Stewart just because I'm expecting a bounce back game. Maybe some people jump off of him, but I really like what I see, especially when he gets those block shots and could get a lot of those against the Magic today. And then last but not least, at center, it is Jokic, who is $1,300 more than Embiid, so that is a big difference. I would rather go to Embiid than Jokic on FanDuel probably. But you can go to Gobert at $7,800 as another guy to go to in the mid-range. And then for value, it's basically like Pirtle at $6,000. Willie Hernangomez, if there is no Steven Adams, would look like a great value play. If Adams plays, maybe you can look to him, but I don't know. They might be cautious with him a little bit. So right now at center, and then you have Looney at 4,000. It's not that appealing. Right now, I'll put in Rudy Gobert at only $7,800 and just hope that Spurs rested a couple of their starters last night, or basically a lot of their starters. So those guys should be back. Game should be a lot closer here. So I expect Gobert to have to play full minutes, and if he does, we'll probably see 40s, 50s out of him, hopefully. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.